Before we invite Mary to come up, I'd like to introduce to you a few folks who are with us this morning to celebrate Mary's retirement. And not incidentally, you're all invited to stay certainly afterwards for refreshments and a time to celebrate her 33 years, an amazing anniversary and retirement for Mary. But Rolf and Levon Johnshoy are with us. Rolf, Pastor Emeritus, and if you would stand, we would like to greet you. Rolf and Levon both, thank you for being here today. And Dennis Hansen, Pastor Emeritus. Mona is home resting. She needs to rest. And Bob and Judy Dovenmuller are here, and they are in the back. And Bob and Judy, give us a wave, and we're so glad that you're here. And Martin and Katie Luther are here as well. Martin was the pastor here when Mary began 500 years ago at St. John, so this is going to be a long time. Enough of that. Mary and Ken, thanks for altar flowers today in celebration of your retirement. And Mary, could we have you come up at this time? And dear Christian friends, we are baptized in the priesthood of Christ, and we are all called by the Holy Spirit to offer ourselves to God, the God of all creation, with thanksgiving. And we offer ourselves in all kinds of different ways. And we are here today to give thanks to God for 33 years of service to St. John, which Mary has given to us very graciously and beautifully, I would say, as our parish secretary. And and we love you and we thank you, and we can give you a hand. We'll just do that now. Don't go anywhere. Please be seated. I'll put that away. Let me say a prayer. Lord God, we are so grateful for Mary. She has blessed us. She has been here through thick and thin, and she has pointed us the way to Christ, and assured our hearts and encouraged us in our work and helped us. And we cannot find the adequate words to express our deep gratitude. May she know, though, that we are deeply thankful. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. I have said this many times, what Lee and I and Ralph and Dennis and Bob and others do in the pulpit and around the chancel is important work, and we do that for the good of the church so that the word is proclaimed without any interruption whatsoever, but we are all the baptized, and so we all have a calling. And everything that we do in the church is very important. And I believe, and I know Lee and others, everything that Mary has done in the office, everything that you do in the kitchen and in the fellowship hall and around the sanctuary, it's all God's work. In our hands, it's God's work, but we're very, very grateful. And we do have a gift from this. This will be a lot of fun. This is from the congregation. This is one gift, but we wanted to give something to you during the worship service to remember how much we love you. And this will not slip over your head. You remember Pastor Bob last week. It's a cross for you from the congregation, something for you to wear. And I will help you put it on. Here we go here. I'll call on somebody to help me put it on. Hang on here. Hope never asked me to do this, because we'd never be anywhere on time. There you go. Yeah, we love you. Yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
Please all stay right after worship in our fellowship hall and greet Mary and celebrate with us.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you. We're going to get started with the program. We have lots of folks that want to say something about and to Mary. So we're going to get started. For those of you that I haven't had the opportunity to meet, my name is Rod Carlson. I'm the president of the church council and will be the director of this crazy bunch this morning. You know, I have to tell a couple of stories, but I'm going to start with one. Seems that Mary and Ken were sitting at the table having an argument about who should make the coffee one morning. Ken said, well, you're in charge of cooking around the house, so it should be up to you to do it. Mary said, well, you should do it. And besides that, it's in the Bible. Ken said, I don't think so. And Mary went to the shelf, got the Bible, and showed it to him where it says Hebrews. First man to the podium, Pastor Paul.
Thank you all for staying today. Appreciate that very much. It is my privilege to make some introductions here, and I would like to acknowledge a few folks that are here. Thanks to all of you for being here. First of all, Mary, we love you. And with Mary is her husband Ken, who has given very much to this whole enterprise as well through all the years. Can you hear me now? There we go. I'll keep it closer. Thank you, Teresa. Appreciate that. It occurs to me that Mary's been here for 33 years, and I've been here almost 20. So I have had the good fortune of working with Mary probably longer than anybody else right now. And it occurs to me that I probably spent more of my waking hours with Mary than I have with my own wife. And that's very sad. It's a very sad thing. But it's also been a very blessed day. It's been a joy to work with Mary. And we'll have more to say about that in a little bit. But I want to introduce to you Mary, and then Ken is with her. And next to Ken is Ken's sister Audrey. And then with Mary is Sister Tony and her husband Joe. And we're grateful that you're here today. We also have many pastors of emeritus with us and their spouses, and so I'd like to introduce them, and they'll have an opportunity to speak in a little bit. But simply to introduce, Ralph and Levon Johnshoy are here, seated right here. And Bob and Judy Dovenmuller are here. And Dennis and Mona Hansen are in the back. Mona is here. Mona was able to come for this time, and we've been praying for Mona for months and months, and she's doing so well. So great to see you today, Mona. Really a wonderful thing. I have other greetings from other clergy here in a little bit, but we will move on right now with the video presentation, and this comes from Aaron Johnson, and this is Mary's son, with help from Ryan McCormick and Michael McCormick, and so let's let it roll.
You're going to miss you, Mary.
In the year 1982, the whole story begins. The whole congregation wins when they find in the year 1982, taking over for retiring June. This post might not go too far, just here for a piano and a car. In the year 1985, wasn't quite so far to drive, but she made a dark, dusty scene with that old mimeograph machine. In the year 1989, got computers, things are going fine. Don't have much time to waste, still doing the old cut and paste. In the year 1995, now with Windows it's easier to survive. People coming in still trying to guess whether St. John ends with an S. Oh no. In the year 2004, renovation, she's behind a new door, but it's still a big team sport when it's time for the annual report. In the year 2010, she's made her 340th newsletter when, even though they were due yesterday, announcements are still coming in anyway. Oh no. In the year 2050, after the longest tenure the church has seen, wonder where all that time went. One more bulletin, less time to print. Oh, now it's been 33 years, all the laughter, joy, and tears from what she's had to do. Now Mary's reign is through, and though long admired, finally a chance to be retired. What will it be like? Hard to say. Her first day up was yesterday.
Pretty neat, huh, Mary?
Wonderful, that was great.
I do believe that was a surprise.
It was.
All right, we'd like to continue on some memories here. You saw some, but we'd like to have some in-person memories. So I'm going to give the pastor emeritus a chance to speak. And we'll start with Ralph. Yep, we got a camera rolling, so we'd like to get as many folks to the podium as possible.
Well, that was quite a film. And, was it Aaron who did that?
Yes,
Yeah,
it was him singing.
it was great, really good. And I was acquainted with that mimeograph, I think, a little bit. And we remember that, don't we, Mary? When I started my ministry, the first secretary I had was a Johnson. She was my wife. And she was the secretary for the first two parishes. Then the next parish, when we moved to the third, I ran into another Johnson. That was Marge. And she was the mother of Fred Hallstrom's wife, Jenny. Marge and Chess were with me and us in the mission in Huron. And Marge Johnson was the first secretary there. And then I came here, not in sequence, but when I came here, June, as you know, was the secretary, and she worked with me, and I worked with her, I should say, for 7 years. And when she decided to retire, we wondered, as you heard this morning, what on earth will we do? And we had some interviews, and up came another Johnson. So June turned to Mary, and it was very good. And I only worked with Mary 3 years, and then they decided to give me a birthday party, and they sent me off in the fire engine. So that was part of the fun. It was 30 years ago that we left here. So I remember a few faces, and even those that I should remember, I can't see very well. So, but anyway, it's been good to be able to be back here from time to time. Mary worked here for 33 years. And I suppose in a sense, Mary, you would think that you earned your retirement, that you deserved it. And in a sense, you did, and you do. And so the next years, I'm happy to congratulate you and hope that you and Ken can have many years together. But actually, they sometimes call it kind of a time to rest, but the best rest comes next. That's the one the Lord gives. And as you know all very well, you don't earn that one. It's all by grace. And that's the rest that we all look forward to. Thanks, Mary, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Bob, Pastor Bob. Here's where we get the real dirt now.
One of the things I recall is how enamored Mary was with my jokes. Well, what I remember is a list of things that we would consider competent, and Mary was certainly competent in everything that she did. But the thing that I remember most, and probably stood out in my mind as the most important quality that a secretary can have, is the quality of, and I'm not sure what word to apply to this, but let's, for lack of a better term right now, simply say sincerity. But that sincerity came through in another kind of way. I remember a number of times when Mary would walk up to me and say, you know, we talked about this approach. I don't think that's a good idea. And, well, I have to claim that I was right a few times. No, but she felt the freedom to do that, and I thought it was a real gift that she brought to the staff because of that. There are many other things that I could share with you, but there's a lot of people on the program, so I'll pass it along.
Next, we'll ask Dennis to come up and say a few words.
You be nice.
You around yet?
I've been threatening Mary for a long time. Now it's my turn. Honestly, Mary, I've told people this ever since I left St. John. You trained me. You taught me how to work with staff and how to get things done in a timely manner. I'll tell you how hard that was on her. You take your placemat. You look at the picture on the left. The picture on the left looks to me like she just finished telling me, you should have had that done sooner. Kind of gritting her teeth. At least that's the way I interpret it. So does the picture on the right, Paul says. I remember the day we interviewed you, Pastor Ralph and I interviewed you. And you don't know this, but we had conversations about you and other candidates that we interviewed. And a very important part of our deliberation and our recommendation to the committee was that we thought that you would be sticking around longer than maybe some of the other candidates. Boy, yeah, we had no idea. 33 years. It was just about this time of the year that we had that interview with you, and that you were given the job, and I never regretted doing that. Mary's become a good friend of mine, and I can call her up at any time of the day or any time of the week, even if I haven't talked to her for a long time, and I'd say, good morning. You know, it might be 3 in the afternoon, and she'd know who it was. Mary and I are going to have to try and figure out how in the world we're going to have some opportunities to spend time and talk together. Because we always used to go to Long John Silver's over here in Minnesota, and now they're gone. I don't know what we're going to do. We'll have to figure out something. Yeah. Anyway, there's one memory I have of Mary. We had a Halloween youth party here at the church. And the kids made up everybody. I mean, they had face paint, and we all were wearing old clothes, and everybody got painted up and everything. And after it was all over and the kids went home, it was about 9 or 9:30, you wouldn't have believed what the kids did to me. And it was quite fun. And I thought, you know, it would be fun if I just stopped at Mary's house and knocked on the door. And she came to the door and opened it, and there I was, with face paint on and half-torn clothes. And she screamed. She really did. She screamed and she jumped back about 3 feet. And then she realized who it was and she started hitting me. And Ken was just sitting over there laughing. Good job, Ken.
My protectors.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks, Mary. You made not only my work here a lot of fun, but you became a good friend, and we've kept in touch over the years, and I appreciate that as well. Thank you for everything that you've done here, and I know you're going to enjoy retirement and grandkids.
Yes.
So, congratulations. Thank you.
We'll switch up the order a little bit. We have the twins, the elder and the younger. And we're going to go with the, oh, you want to do that? Yeah, okay. Paul's got a letter he wants to read.
This is, Pastor Becca was not able to be here, Becca and Sedge and the kids. Becca is at Bethany, or Bethel Lutheran Church in the shadow of St. Olaf College in Northfield. This is where she serves now. She's a full-time associate pastor there. She made it to the Holy Land. And and close to home, and she's doing well, and she sends these greetings. She says, "Dear Mary, I sat down to jot down a few of my memories of time with you at St. John, and when I looked at the list, I started to find some themes. You are safe, you are trustworthy, you are sweet, you are fun, you are loving, you are quality, you are professional, you are faithful, you are family, you are beloved. When I came to Sioux Falls in 2007, I was green, newly out of seminary, newly married, newly ordained, newly a South Dakotan, and newly a pastor at St. John. And you were the first person to greet me. Sedge and I stopped by your home to get the keys to the church, and you were so bright and cheerful and excited to greet us. I will always remember that initial meeting. We headed to church where we loaded all sorts of personal stuff into a Sunday school room in the basement, and you and the others never said a word about how annoying that must have been. You knew I was green, and you treated me with respect. The same themes permeated the coming years. I didn't ever quite know what to do. You and Pastor Paul heard that from me over and over, and you encouraged me and treated me with respect despite being so new. You never made me feel inadequate, which was a great gift in itself. You kept St. John safe, you kept the pastors safe, and you shared your wisdom with us in ways that created trust. I will remember the great talks we had about family and working outside the home while trying to raise kids. You walked me through emotional roller coasters as I experienced the birth of my first child at St. John, and you greeted him and the whole experience with such joy. Your love for babies and your love for life is so evident in all that you do. You are a rock for St. John, an anchor that gave us hope, and you mentored this new pastor into someone who could believe in herself as a woman and a mother. Thanks for giving me the confidence I needed when so much was new for me. May you fully experience the richness of life as you enter retirement. May each day be new, and may you know you are surrounded by a great cloud of people who love you, will miss you, and give thanks for your many, many faithful and loving years of service. God be with you, Mary. You are so special, so grateful for you, Becca, Sedge, Stellan, and Liv. And I will give that to Mary. She wrote down some other things that were part of that whole process. But that
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Next, we'll call on Pastor Lee.
One incident. We were in the office, Brad or Alan over in here somewhere, where we were when I first came in '85, and was here till '93, and somewhere in between that, this incident happened. I was in my office, and usually Mary would, on a voice over the phone, tell who was on the phone. But this time, she didn't. The phone rang pretty soon. She came through the door, and she came like this and said, "Bishop Chilstrom is on the phone." Bishop Chilstrom, he was the bishop of the whole church, you know. And so I picked up the phone, and it didn't take me long to realize it was not Bishop Chilstrom, it was Monsignor McInerney.
Now we'll go to Paul. Pastor Paul.
I just thought of another one. I thought of something I wasn't going to say, but when I once in a while play a prank, and I used to. I called the office once when I was away, knowing that Mary would be here, and I said, and I disguised my voice. I put the big voice on. I said, "Mary, this is Bishop Zelmer, is Paul there? And she goes, well, Paul's not here right now. And I said, well, just tell him he's doing a great job. He's an amazing pastor. She said, I sure will. She said, yes, he is. And then she said, I'll tell him. And then that was the end of the conversation. But I just wanted to make it was great. Now I can't do that anymore because we have a caller ID on the phone, so they know who's calling. Yesterday I had a funeral and I had a wedding. And funerals are times of parting, and there are always a lot of tears. And then there was this wedding, and with the wedding there were a lot of tears. And I was remembering my sister's wedding the night before she was married. I was sitting in the backyard of my mom and dad's house, and all I wanted to do was cry, because my interloper brother-in-law, who I love dearly to this day, was now taking my sister away. And I was never going to have her again the way I had her before she was married. So there's a lot of grieving that goes on, even during the happier moments. The joy that we experience and the sadness that we experience are not opposites. They're really two sides of the same coin. And I find that at times, at moments like this too. So what do? I'd like to read for you something about a wedding, actually. And this is written by Gary Westgard, who I worked with for a few years, and he writes brilliant things. And this is called Pastor Standing Next to the Mother of the Bride, and so it's about another wedding, but it could also be about retirement and other transitions in life. But he says, the candles have been lit, the widowed grandmother has been walked down the aisle by her grandson, the groom, who then guides the other grandparents to their places up front. The groom has 2 more trips, one with his parents, then the final walk with the mother of the bride. I stand next to this woman who has watched her oldest son get married and move 2 states away, who will soon sit helplessly as her only daughter joins herself to this man, who is now coming back up the aisle to take her to a place she's not sure she wants to go. She turns to me and says, I'm not going. I understand. I stood in the afternoon in the empty bedroom of a daughter delivered to college that same morning, remembering another morning when she walked off to kindergarten with a neighbor girl. I turned my back on the airplane taking our son over the ocean and sat wiping tears next to his mother in the front row as he spoke promises to his young bride. And then Westgard writes this, every new place we enter, every new walk we take brings with it a guarantee. It will not be as it once was. Not ever again. So on this warm October afternoon, when the mother of the bride says, I'm not going, I turn to her and say, good, if you're not going, I'm not going either. And then we go. And that's how it is. And so I've been looking at this retirement for about a year now, and didn't think much about it until maybe 3 months ago, I suppose. I always thought Mary would always be here, and now she's on her way, and this is a very joyous occasion because there's all kinds of doors that will open now and lots of new things, but it's kind of a sad time too. And I will miss you dearly, Mary. But I'll see you, and we'll see you. So how do you handle these kinds of transitions? You just do it. So you do it, and our congregation, we're going to miss you, but we'll do it. We just keep moving, and God will be with us, and we'll run into each other at Bagel Boy or someplace. We'll figure something out. Anyway, thank you for your service.
Thanks, Paul. Now we go to congregation members who have stepped forward and have volunteered to say a few words and exchange some memories. And we're going to start with none other than the emeritus shopkeeper, the knower of all secrets at St. John, our custodian emeritus, Gordy Beck.
I've been sitting here staring at that picture, and I came to realize that your job must have been more stressful than I thought. Just counting gray hair, okay? Mary, it was a joy working with you. You made my job a lot easier all the years. First thing I would do when I got here, I would go in the office and look at Mary's schedule to see what was coming up, and I'd say, okay, I got to have this set up by when, how many people, you know, what do they want set up, and if she didn't know the answer, she would find out. And she made my job a lot easier all those years. And so I want to thank you by imparting some retirement wisdom on you. I've been at it for, I think, about a year and a half now, so I speak from a little bit of experience. First of all, if you wake up at 6:30 in the morning and you say, oh, I got to get up and get ready for work, don't do that. If you're walking around the house thinking, I should be doing something, take a deep breath. It'll go away. Ken will be very happy to know that now he can sit in the driveway in a lawn chair and watch her mow the lawn. One thing you can do to keep yourself busy is do some volunteer work. For instance, I vision myself sitting on my deck, beer in hand, and watching you mow mine. Congratulations, Mary. You deserve it. Have a great time, all right?
Thank you.
And don't worry about these guys, they'll get along without you.
Thanks, Corey. Shirley Evans.
Where were you yesterday?
Well, first of all, I want to thank Pastor Paul for inviting me to say a few words. I really appreciated it. I asked him how much time I could use and how much time I could take. And, well, he said about half hour. So I cut my little talk a little less. I guess I didn't realize your job description, or your job, until I read the job description. And I thought, wow, no wonder I chose teaching as a profession. A few months ago, I stopped in the office. Mary, I don't know if you remember this. You were on the phone. It was you, Pastor Hanson. Anyhow, I had something to talk to her about. So she was talking, and then she got through, so we talked a little bit. The phone rang again. So I waited a while, and then our conversation was over. As I was going out the door, the phone rang again. I looked back and she was just a smiling away. And I said, as I got in the car with Perry, "Ooh, wow, is that a typical day for Mary in the office?" I've got a bouquet of flowers here, and it's all different kinds of flowers showing your different tasks that you did in the office. I want to take this word's thanks to express my feelings about you. One is tactful. You have a skill and grace that I felt was great in dealing with others, with our congregation, anybody that came in the office, whatever. H, helpful hands. You've helped me so much, and so much assistance and support in various church jobs that I've done while you've been here in 33 years. Thank you. A is your attitude. You've had a positive attitude about your work. And N, nifty. I looked up some synonyms for that, and it said groovy, Cracker Jack, Corker, and Peachy. And then I heard yesterday when we were serving the funeral, I saw this, your middle of the table, there's Peachy, and I guess that's what you used to say a lot, Peachy. That was great. Or Kate first. Kate is knowledgeable, and we know that you're all-knowing about everything that was going on in the back of the church, or in the church, all the inner works of our church. And S was sagacious. I don't know if you know what that means, but well, the idiom for that is wise as an owl. All I can say is thanks, happy retirement, and God bless you and keep. Thank you.
Thanks, Shirley. Dorothy Kepsel?
Sorry, it took me so long to get here. Anyway, my thoughts go a long ways back because this they are 33 years, and I've been here a long time. Anyway, to begin with, you've come a long ways. When I think of that little cubby hole of an office you started out in, and where we are now, is wonderful, the change. And I'm glad I was able to be part of that change. The one thing I always am grateful for, the minute you came into St. John, the cubbyhole office or the present one, you were met with a cheerful young lady who always had a smile on her face. We appreciate your thoughtfulness and your graciousness. And many of you have already referred to these traits, and they're wonderful. Thank you. Another thought, we got acquainted quite well because I worked with figures a long time in my life, and now and then Mary had a question, and she called me, and we would talk on the telephone, and then we'd iron out whatever the question might be, and you did so well. We appreciate all the things you've done. She called me her mentor, and many of you are mentors over at Garfield School. I kind of wondered about that compliment, mentor. I actually looked it up in the dictionary, and it's a faithful counselor. Well, it hardly describes me, but anyway, thank you for the compliment. As you retire, part of us are happy for you, but part of us are sad too. But I'm 100% sure God will bless you as you move into the next exciting stage of your journey of life, and we congratulate you. And then I leave this thought with you. He will not forget your work and the love you have shown him as you have helped his people and continue to help them. Amen. Thank you.
Where's Don? Don Gold.
Well, Mary, it's almost here. First, I guess I want to say thank you to Pastor Ralph for reminding you, Mary, but also reminding all of us that our ultimate retirement cannot be earned, but is truly a free gift of grace. But Mary, considering all the pastors you've worked for, your earthly retirement, believe me, you've earned it. Oh, I don't have any stories, but having served on a couple of call committees, I guess I always knew we really couldn't make a mistake because we had Mary here to shape them up. And you did that. You have walked well with all that have been here, and you have walked well with this congregation. And we certainly appreciate all of these years that we knew that we could depend on you being there. And we knew that what you would do would be done well. And we thank you for that.
Ken Buchanan.
First of all, I want to tell Pastor Hanson that you better not ever threaten Mary. I think you're in some strange ground that you don't want to be in. When Pastor Paul called me and wanted to know if I'd say a few words, I thought, why would he call me? And after much thought about it, I figured it out. They were visiting one day, I'm sure, and Paul probably asked Mary, what is one of the least things you'll miss when you leave St. John? And she said, Ken Buchanan's late annual report. I can't even, I don't know, I must have wrote 40 or 45 of them for you in your 33 years. But I have the great announcement that the last one was on time. And I got a very great thank you note for Mary for that. But I served on a lot of committees and a lot of boards, including the endowment fund. And without Mary, no way could have I done it. I tried to catch her in mistakes. I'd done everything. She had an answer for it. You can't fool her. She's just that kind of a woman. She's got everything covered. It's all right, and she's just a fantastic perfectionist. There's been so many things said up here already today that I wanted to say, all the way back to that little cubbyhole office that many people in this church don't even remember. It was an amazing thing. My mother would have called that a walk-in and back-out office because there was no room to turn around. But they Mary worked with it, and when I was really happy for her when she got her new office, and everything worked out great. But all I can say is that Mary helped me along a lot, along with the rest of everybody at St. John's. I wish her a long and happy retirement if you can, and thanks for everything you've done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Lou Statham.
Mary. Hi, Lindsay. She's such a good friend. And I want to thank you and congratulate you for your wonderful years. You've done such a beautiful job. You kept track of my husband better than I did. You're a good friend. You're always cheerful. We have so much fun together. And I go into the office once in a while. Didn't bug her much. How are you today, Mary? Oh, just peachy. So I know she liked peaches, and I want you to know that Ace Hardware says you can come in and order your peaches. So you better do that. I'll do that. So I just thought I'd share some of the things that happened through the years. You can believe them if you want to. Mary took care of the bulletin board out in the parking lot one day and said, remember to pray for the many who are sick in our church and community. Now, I didn't say that right. Oh, they're sick of our church. Makes a difference. I can't read my own writing. So, another thing she wrote was, don't let worry kill you. Let the church help you. How about this one? Pastor's on vacation. Massages can be given to the church secretary. And so, anyway, God bless you, hon, in your retirement. And I pray that it'll all be just peachy.
Paula Kohler.
Mary,
What?
I'd like to present you with something, but you have to come up here.
I don't know if I trust you.
Now that you're retiring, I would like to present you with something. I'd like you to have a seat there. Presenting Mary with this hat. This is called the Town and Country Head Cover. Since you're retiring and getting up there in years, I think there are some instructions I need to go over with you regarding this hat. This is a very special hat. It has several safety features. First of all, you'll notice the tie downs. And with the winds exceeding 90 miles an hour like we had a few days ago, you may immediately want to put the tie downs to use so you don't lose this expensive hat. And next, this hat is equipped with an emergency kit. So if you were to fall down, you don't have to ask Ken for first aid. You have it right here. This hat is also good for strolling around the neighborhood at night. You'll see here you have candles that will light your way. Just don't start anything on fire like your neighbor's house. Okay, and then we have these ear warmers. Now these will really be good for you in the wintertime when South Dakota temperatures go below 0. Okay? And then you no longer have that desk drawer in the off-church office where you keep your supplies. So this hat comes with some necessities. We have here first safety pin. Now in 33 years, how many times have you maybe found that this has come in handy? There's nothing else to pop one of Ryan's balloons. We have here a ruler. This reminds us of how Mary was willing to go the extra inch, foot, or mile. We have here a pen and notepad where you can list all your blessings. First one is probably you don't have to be to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. We have here a paper clip, which reminds us how she held everything together, especially when things might have gotten a little stressful in her office. We have, let's see here, we have a rubber band, if I can get it out. That reminds us how flexible Mary was whenever a task was put before her. In here also I have an eraser. Now, over 33 years there maybe were a few mistakes, maybe, but they were never permanent like this marker. And we have some glue, because Mary was the one that held that office together. And she probably had some treats in her desk drawer. M&Ms, because it was a marvelous and memorable career. Now there's also a little pocket up here on top, and this is where she can hold her secret items. And this hat is also equipped with an alarm system. If you need help, you just need to blow the whistle. But remind your people in your household that if they hear this whistle, they need to rush to your side immediately.
You hear that, kid?
And then finally, let me explain the brand name of this hat. Like I said before, is the Town and Country head cover. So we have two pockets here in the back. So, Mary, if you're in town and nature calls, you know what I mean? We have this expensive tissue. Now, if you're in the country and nature calls, well, we have this longtime favorite corn cob. Just remove the cellophane before you. So, there you have it. The Town and Country head cover. Now, this should give you years of pleasurable experience in your retirement years, so you enjoy, okay?
Now, you realize that the government doesn't work on Sundays. You don't get the mail delivered on Sundays, except today. Today, we have some mail that's going to be delivered by Jeff the mailman.
Mary, I didn't know you very long. I've only been on the route for about a year. I remember a lot of times I always come in and I had postage due. Remember that? She always loved it when I came in. I was kind of nervous when I come in there because she'd always give me this look. I enjoyed working with you and talking to you. Happy retirement. I got some special mail. I'm going to give the ball.
Okay.
You want to hear a couple letters just quickly? This is from the Guinness Book, Sir Albert Guinness, Guinness Book of World Records. Dear Ms. Johnson, while serving 33 years as Parish Secretary of St. John American Lutheran Church, is likely not a world record, although it had to have been incredibly difficult given the clergy you've had to deal with. It has been brought to our attention that you may in fact have something infinitely more amazing to celebrate and boast about. Our meticulous research indicates that you are an exceptional scoocher, a world-class scoocher, a scoocher worthy of a world record. It is a foregone conclusion among actuaries at Guinness that even the average office worker circumnavigates his or her office space sitting on his or her tuchus, scooching, as you were, from one workstation to another, never once rising to one's feet. An average pair of secretaries of your height and hair color scooch approximately 10 miles per year, filing papers, answering phones. That's 10 miles every year. But no one known to man or woman, according to our records, has ever been known to scooch more proficiently, never, than you, who for all practical purposes has scooched on average 24.5 miles per year from 1982 to 2000 and a mind-boggling 32 miles per year hence. I hope you're sitting down, Mary. Of course you're sitting down. I just want to tell you that no one in the history of the world has covered more miles in an office the size of yours over the course of 33 years, resting on her tuchus than you. 936 miles on your tuchus. It's a nice word. That's like riding your office chair from Sioux Falls to Chicago. Anyway, that's something. Congratulations. That's from Dennis. This is really bad. He told me the other night that I'm not funny. This is from J.M. Smucker. I hear you finally retired. In celebration of your service, we started a very special line of jams, jellies, and fruit spreads. Peachy pitless peaches, the basic ingredient. The pinnacle of a process we've been experimenting with, which preliminary reports probably refer to as Mary Pauline's peaches. We like to be proactive in promoting our pantry packs by being full speed ahead with production of our peachy products by the peak of the peach season, which promises this particular peach growing period to be positively profuse. But we need your input, your positive feedback. We need to know what it is exactly that makes the peach its peachiest best. More to the point, is peachiness paramount? Is it really the goal? In short, is being peachy a good thing or maybe just an okay thing? We don't know. No one knows. Please help, J.M. Smucker. That's from J.M. Smucker. There's one other letter. Would you like to hear it? You can say no. I'm going to let Rod read this one. This is from Bishop Zelmer.
Dear Mary, I want to give you my heartfelt congratulations and thanks as you launch into your new life among the ranks of the retired. And what a career you've had. You must be so proud to have worked with the finest pastors that has ever produced. Ralph John Choi, Lee Statham, Gary Pabst, Dennis Hansen, Becca Freeman, Bob Dopenmuller, but especially the brilliant Paul Mensch. And not only the finest pastors, but the best looking. Ralph, Lee, Gary, Dennis, Becca, Bob, but particularly the impeccable Paul Mensch. I can't imagine a better place to have a career than at St. John American Lutheran Church because its pastors have been so outstanding. It must have been wonderful for you. Congratulations. Not many have been given such an incredible opportunity. Not many have been so blessed as you. I imagine many of the pastors with whom you have served over the years will be with you at your celebration, beginning with Martin Luther himself, who died shortly after you began your work. Please greet them all. I am too forever in debt to them. In their daily work as parish pastors, they have been nothing short of genius. Ralph John Choi, a genius. Dennis Hansen, a genius. Becca, genius. Gary, astounding genius. Lee, rocket scientist. Bob, the incomparable genius. But especially Pastor Paul. My word, it just doesn't get any better. Congratulations, Mary. Very sincerely, David Zelman. Oh, boy. Well, we've heard just about every phrase, every story. But we're going to take a minute or two to see if there is someone that hasn't had the opportunity to say something that they would like to share. Marvo Krina.
Thank you. I kept a few notes over the years about what Mary did and didn't do. A lot of notes here.
wife says she can't hear me, that's unusual. Then it's the other way around, I can't hear her. That's selective hearing. Anyway, Mary, are you sure that you want to retire? Is that a fact? That's your final answer. Now understand that Ken has been retired for a few years longer than you have. Have you consulted with him in reference to retirement? Ken, is that true?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that being said, Mary, are you willing to adjust to Ken's schedule then? That's a yes or no question.
I don't know yet. I don't know yet.
Oh, you don't know yet? Okay. Anyway, it's been our pleasure, Carol and mine, to be on different boards and council members during our years with Ed St. John, and we've been here about 40 years. So anyway, when we asked Mary for some help or whatever, why she would generally come up with an answer. We didn't always agree with her, but she came up with an answer. So anyway, during this time, why I had occasion to call the church office and check on our bishop at Western Avenue, what he was doing or wasn't doing, and then I would ask Mary how things were going, and she'd say, oh, just peachy. And that's, you've heard that comment several times. So Mary, if you want to come forward, I'm going to have a little gift for you in reference to the peachy business.
You sure? Ready to go?
This happens to be a peach pin. So every time she wears it, she can think of St. John American Lutheran Church. And we wish you the very best. God bless you. And have a peachy time.
Mary, don't, you might as well stay here.
I have to get my notes. You really want me up there?
Yep.
Yep. To stay or not? What?
Right now? Check back with Mary's first boss, and when she came on board and when something like this, in this church, the secretary job, we need someone who is responsible. Mary said, that's me. In my last job, when anything went wrong, they said I was responsible. Mary, we have a few things that we would like to give you. First off, this is going to shock a lot of you. I know that. But we have a gift certificate. Mary has a secret desire to get a tattoo. We're not sure where the tattoo will go. We're not sure what the tattoo will be. But we have a gift certificate of a tattoo of your choosing from St. John. We also have in this pretty box a gift card. A gift card to go shopping. To the mall.
Seriously?
Seriously. Enjoy. Your friends tell me that you love to shop, but you don't always do it. So now you have a good reason to do it.
Thank you.
You are welcome. In this box is it's a charm box that you can set up with, I should ask the ladies to explain, but it's a charm box. So you can set up lots of different stuff.
Thank you.
And we have a gift certificate for a 1-hour massage, a pedicure, and a manicure.
Wow.
You deserve it. We had a lot of conversation in committee about whether or not we should give a gift that you and Ken could enjoy. That lasted about 2 minutes. Sorry, kid. We decided to spend all our money on you. Yeah. All right, we're going to turn the microphone over to you. It's your turn. Okay. Ken will bring up your notes. You know the drill, keep it up. Yep.
I'm going to read most of it because I can't. I'm not a speaker, and I know I'm going to figure out what I'm doing. Thank you all for being here today. This has really been amazing. I am so humbled by all this response. It's just, in a way, I feel like Sally Field. When she got up and she said, they like me. They really like me. That's how I feel. This has been the best job and career I ever could have hoped for, ever. I can't believe how fast 33 years has gone by. The day I opened the newsletter and saw that June Sundberg was retiring, I knew this was a job I would love. I interviewed with the personnel committee, Don Bosch, who always scares me, Dorothy Kepsel and Jeanette Stossen. They were so nice. And then with Pastor Ralph and Pastor Dennis. And then when Don called me to tell me the council had just voted to hire me, I hung up the phone and I started crying. I looked at Ken and I said, what did I do? I was only 34 years old, and I couldn't imagine how June could have been in this job for 26 years. That was most of my life at that time. But now I can't remember what it was when it was 26 years for me. I've had the pleasure of working with so many wonderful people, countless boards, committees, councils, WELCA boards, circle members, and also many wonderful friends. Youth directors, about 18 in all, the longest with Velva Kurtz, who I adore working with. Dorothy Kepsel and Harley Schaefer have helped me with so many with the finance questions, just like she said. I called her all the time. And of course, Ann Mortensen. She has been so special to me for a lot of years. And I would have had a hard time, a real hard time, getting everything done without her. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. And pastors. So many pastors. We had interns of Nancy Quatier, Amanda Urich, Peter Kaufman, and Bob O'Connor. And the associate pastors. Started out with Dennis Hansen, who circled all of my mistakes in the newsletter in red. But I got even with him. When he came here, he had dark hair. When he left, he was white. I take all the credit for that.
And you're still older.
And Gary Pabst, who never gave me any kind of grief. He should have given the others all these pointers and lessons. Pastor Paul, who used way too many rubber bands, clothespins, and Scotch tape to torment me. You have no idea what it's like to stand up in a Lenten service and have this lady behind me say to Ken, why does Mary have a clothespin clipped to the back of her coat? I have no idea how long it had been there. Or when you try to answer the phone and you can't because he's taped the phone down. But you got to see him run when I've got the rubber band in my hand. And Becca Freeman, who made me laugh every day. Senior pastors, Ralph Johnshoy. He taught me to run in church. Anytime we had to do anything, he'd say, come on. I said, I can't run. I tell my kids not to run in church. He said, oh, come on. And we literally, he ran everywhere. And he'd say, let's go get a personal pan pizza. And we'd head off to Pizza Hut. Lee Statham, who showed me that you can ride bike in the snow. Lee, I tried to outlast you, but I give up. You're the Energizer Bunny. You're going to be here forever. I'm tired. And Pastor Bob Dovenmuller, who always ate my dark chocolate candy. And again, Paul, who barricades himself in the office, afraid of my water pistol. But he makes me dark hot chocolate for staff meetings. I've loved working with every one of you, I really have. You've all treated me with such love and respect, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's just fun coming to work every day. I just love it. I've had a really good time training Joanne Pasica. I don't know when I've laughed so much. We laugh all the time. I know she's going to do great. I have always felt that God led me here. As I look back, I know He has been with me every step of the way. I am so thankful for all of you and many others who are no longer with us. God has given me abilities to do things I never would have thought I could do. Thank you to everyone who has had anything to do with this party today. This has really been so much fun. I really appreciate it. Thank you for allowing me to serve you at St. John for 33 years. You have always given me and my family love and encouragement. I cannot imagine being anywhere but St. John. And thank you all so very, very much.
Lots of people to thank today. Just want to name a few. I'll probably miss people, I'm sure. Forgive me for that. Joni and Rod Carlson, part of our planning committee. Joni and Rod, Teresa Emig, Nancy Hansen, Peg Jorgensen, Pam Peterson, Paula Kohler. Cakes are baked by Carrie Spear. I'm grateful for this. To all who make this day happen. The cross that held the cupcakes was made by Jolynn and David Peterson, who are neighbors, friends in our neighborhood, and they wanted to do something special for Mary today, so we're grateful for that as well. There is a peachy pink book floating around here. Please sign it and share a memory if you can, and I'll say a prayer. Lord God, we give you thanks for Mary and for her life and her service to this congregation, and for all the joy we've been able to share as we have toiled together in your kingdom for many, many years. We thank you for St. John, and we ask that you continue to guide this place, bless all of its servants, and open the door to a new day every day. We know not where you lead, but we know that you will be with us, and we ask that every day that Mary rises to begin again a new day, that she would know that you are leading her. Bless Ken and Mary together, and we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.